Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the final consecutive streaming day of the week here on DSPGaming, and welcome to the Level 1 podcast for Wednesday, the 6th of December, 2023. I'm DSP, and I welcome you here to the show. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing well, and I hope you had a great week with me. I would say this has been a pretty darn good week with all the stuff that we played together, that we did together. An uninterrupted week, right? No real drama, which was great. And a nice festive fun all week with the nice holiday vibes. It really was a good one. Today, so, it's the final consecutive streaming day of the week. No stream tomorrow. Oh, but it's going to be a really great day of streaming, I feel, with the content that we've got. So that's good. Can't wait, actually. Today, the gameplay is going to be pretty darn solid. And interesting. You know, 2 new things back to back is always a good thing. And I hope you'll join me for everything we're going to do. Of course, we'll talk about that. Today, on the podcast, we have some pretty important stuff to talk about. Now, what do I mean? Well, there's one final game. One final, what you could argue, big game of this year coming out tomorrow. Now, I'm not here tomorrow. So, originally, my plan was to start playing Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora on Friday. Well, guess what? The reviews finally released this morning. So I guess there really was like a 24-hour embargo on this game. And to say the least, it's weird. And what do I mean by that? The split on these reviews is so oddly divided, I don't know who to believe or what to believe or if this is something that I should be interested in playing or not. You got some people saying gorgeous visuals and a beautiful world, amazing way to envision Pandora as being a real interactive universe, which you've never been able to really do before. You've only been able to watch it in the movies but not play in it. But it also plays like the best of the Far Cry games. Good variety of content and all that. Then you read another review, and it's like, so the world's good for like 2 hours and then you get bored of it. It's literally Far Cry again with the same insanely repetitive missions, base takeovers, climbing waypoints, and it doesn't feel unique at all. You can tell it's just a different skin slapped on top of Far Cry. Not worth your time. And you read those 2 reviews and it's like, so we'll talk about this because what I need to figure out today, like literally on this podcast today together, we're going to talk about this. And we got to figure this out. If I end up saying, well, this is something that we're going to play, does it mean that we're going to split the audience and half the audience will not be interested? If I end up not playing it, then what do we play instead? Let's talk because I have some ideas. Let's discuss this today. All right, let's have a good conversation about it. Hash it out. Most of the time, when we have these conversations, we come to a pretty reasonable determination. And that's why I love having this podcast every morning. Because if I didn't have this, and I was left to my own devices to figure this stuff out, I wouldn't be getting this live feedback that I absolutely cherish and appreciate. And, you know, I can't do it all myself. It's about you guys and what you want to see as well. So I'm happy that I'm going to be able to get your feedback live and figure this out, okay? Like I said, I already have a few ideas if we end up not playing, if that's the decision. So we'll talk about it on this very show, all right? In addition, what I'd like to do is recap what we did yesterday, because yesterday we played a new game in RoboCop Rogue City, and I have some really good things to say about it so far that I'd like to share with you. I'm very excited to jump back into it on the late stream tonight. I think it's going to be great. I think this is going to be a really good podcast of discussion, okay? So, don't expect a ton of game news. Don't expect a ton of drama or anything like that. Nothing hot to talk about like the GTA 6 trailer like yesterday, but some pretty pertinent stuff to my streams and my content, okay? So I think we should just jump right in head first and start this discussion, shall we? Alrighty then. Alright, yesterday was a great day of streaming. Not only did I give my full thoughts on the GTA 6 teaser trailer, watch yesterday's podcast if you would like that, but my first full stream yesterday was RoboCop Rogue City. Game that you guys asked me, you know, to be playing for the last month. It came out of nowhere. No one expected it to be good. And after having played it for 3 hours, I can tell you, it's pretty darn good. Although it does have clear shortcomings, okay? What do I mean by that? Well, first of all, the game is not just a first-person shooter, which is what I thought it was, okay? I thought it was just, oh, run around, shoot things, that's the whole game. Like, I thought it was Doom with RoboCop. Absolutely not. It's essentially a hybrid RPG and shooter, which is good, I feel. I feel that that's actually better than it just being a shooter. So, the first hour is this tutorial of you kind of going through a movie studio, taking out a bunch of, you know, gang member terrorists. And man, the gunplay is easy, but satisfying. There's a lot of gore in this game. Just to forewarn anyone thinking, oh, this is just a cutesy game. No, you shoot people, their arms blow off, their heads explode. It's pretty darn gory, and you can make things like, you could like throw propane tanks and they blow up. You grab them by their necks and throw them against each other, and they viciously bob into each other and like you know, cripple each other and stuff like that. Definitely brutal, okay? Very brutal. Then you get to the RPG elements, because once you finish the first tutorial mission, you start to realize this is not just a shooter. There's an open world segment, and as you wander around this open world segment, you find all these optional side missions. There's a murder mystery that you have to investigate and figure out who actually murdered this woman. And you go around town scanning things, getting evidence, until you finally find the culprit. You know, there's a mission where a car is missing. So you go to a car shop and talk to the guy to find out that one of his employees may be the suspect. You got to find the suspect that gets attacked by gang members. You got to save the suspect. Then they tell you all about the chop shop deal that they're working for, and then you go and you shut down the chop shop. You know what I mean? Like, those are the kind of missions that are in the game. It's not just run in and shoot everything. And in addition to that, there's very interesting dialogue trees and choices you have to make. For example, there's been missions where it's like, outright arrest the person, be a little bit more lenient with them. Do you ticket a car or not? You know, there's all this stuff going on, and it's pretty darn unique. And then you get, you know, leveling points, again, as if it's an RPG, and the leveling points you can put into all these different skill trees. And man, you can play this game however you want. You can make combat better. You can become more of a tank with high defense. You can actually do things that you would think you could do in an RPG, like, oh, your scanner's better. Now you can see more items in the environment. You can update your map to show hidden items and areas on the map. Get bonus experience points so you'll just level up faster over the course of the game. Stuff like that. So, it's really unique. And, you know, the best comparison I can make, not that it's exactly like this, is kind of like Deus Ex. And I think that's a good thing, because number one, Deus Ex is a great franchise, and number two, there hasn't been a Deus Ex game in ages. The last one didn't do so well, and they already said that the franchise is basically on hiatus, and they don't know if it'll ever come back. So it's good to play a game of that style after being away about it for so long. So that's cool. So I'm really liking the game. The only real shortcoming I have of this game so far, the graphics. They're just not very good. The facial animations are poor. They don't match the dialogue. That's because they're not even really lip synced half the time. The character models don't look that good. That is the one shortcoming. The environments look great, because remember, this is supposed to be post-apocalyptic, meaning, well, not post-apocalyptic, but kind of like future cyberpunk-ish. It's supposed to be set in 2028, but it's via 1980s 2028, so all the technology is like tube TVs and stuff like that, which is neat to see that. It's like dystopian future where things are supposed to get better because of technology, but actually crime's worse. It's a darker place. It's not safe, and that's why they need RoboCop. So it's really neat in that regard. The environment design and everything is very nice, and I love it. But sheesh, the character models just don't look good, right? The detail and the animations, and that's why this game is known as a AA game. It's got a lot of effort and skill put into it. It just didn't have a budget. So with a low budget, they did the best that they could, with what they had. But I'm loving it. 3 hours in, I played an hour of the intro and then 2 hours of optional wandering around doing all the side stuff. Today, we're going to jump back into the main story again. And I'm excited for this. I hope you'll join me tonight on the late stream as we continue with RoboCop. It's a great game so far. I'm shocked at how good it is. Now, I believe people were saying it's on the shorter side as well. Like, I'm 3 hours in. I've heard it's around 17 hours long. So if that's the case, we'll likely beat this game within like 2 weeks. We'll probably have it done by maybe Christmas, which I guess is fine. But maybe a little disappointing because if the game is so good, it kind of sucks that it's on the shorter side, right? Like, you want to play more of it. So it is kind of a little disappointing that maybe it is as short as people are saying it is. But so far, so good. Really liking it. Okay? So that's cool. So let's talk, because today, ladies and gentlemen, is the premiere of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3's Warzone 3.0. And as I've been talking about over the last week, I was actually a little bit nervous about Warzone today, because I didn't know if it was going to be readily available to play here on the first stream. Now, why do I say that? Well, it comes out today, but, we didn't have a guarantee of what time it was coming out. A lot of people were saying 9 a.m., but who knows how it was going to be and how it was going to work. Well, I'm happy to report this morning around 9 a.m., no exaggeration, I got up that time to get this going. I booted up my Xbox, and it just auto-downloaded it. Now, you might say, wait a minute. It auto-downloaded all of Warzone? Didn't that add a significant amount? Yeah, it did. In fact, I can tell you right now, taking a look at Call of Duty, when I go to the game page, wow, it added an additional, listen to this, about 70 gigs this morning to my install of Call of Duty, because originally I had only downloaded the multiplayer. I didn't download the campaign, and I didn't download Warzone 2.0 from last year. I just downloaded the multiplayer, and that was around 100 gigs. Now it says it's 183 gigs. So just to forewarn anyone who owns Modern Warfare 3, if you got it on console, you're about to double your install size, and there's nothing you can do about it. I didn't tell it to install Warzone. It just did. Okay? So that's, I was happy because I'm like, oh, I don't have to do any additional work. I don't have to go to the store and search for Warzone and install it. At the same time, I didn't tell it to install it. It just took its own volition to do it. Oh, I'll just take your hard drive space like a hog. I didn't tell you to do that. So if you don't want Warzone, likely what you could do is probably go into your game files and delete it. But I think it is bullshit that they kind of force that on you, right? I do think that's really dumb. But it auto-downloaded, and then when I went to my settings and everything, of course you have to re-sign all the EULA and all the bullshit, right? All the agreements. I got an error, and the error says, did not download your previous saves from Warzone like 2.0, so you have to start over. And I was like, yeah, that's because I didn't download Warzone 2.0. I never wanted it on my console. It would have been a hog. I had no intention of playing it again. So that's why I didn't download it, and nor do I doubt, there may be game save data somewhere out there, but I don't care anyway. Like, if I'm playing Warzone 3.0, I want to unlock everything, like a fresh start. That's kind of the point. I don't want to be starting with half the guns unlocked. So I think it sucks, because I think some people will have that. Like, they're going to have half the fucking guns unlocked now because they played 2.0, and I think that's dumb. If this truly is really new Warzone, why are we not all starting on the same fucking page? That's dumb as shit, right? So I don't know how that's going to work, because I don't have anything unlocked. I don't know if I'm going to be at a disadvantage today or what. But from my understanding, it's a totally new map, right? No one knows anything about it. Where are the good hiding spots and things like that. Whatever that may be, it's going to be new. Everyone today will be on the same page playing Warzone 3.0. That's a good thing. Because what ends up happening with these Warzone Battle Royale maps is you give it like a week, 2 weeks, all of a sudden everyone's a tryhard. Everyone has played this fucking thing nonstop all week. They found every single area to hide, every single place to be, and they just cheese the fuck out of it, you know? It's pretty stupid in that regard, because I remember when Warzone 2.0 came out, I played it for like a week or 2 weeks around, and we really enjoyed it, right? We were having a really good time with it, and then all of a sudden one day I start playing, I'm like, I can't even like survive more than a few minutes. People are in these crazy sniping spots, right? They found these ways to kind of get all the good items and exploit it and shit like that. It's like, wow, you know, I wasn't aware it was that serious. You know, I thought this was supposed to be like fun, battle royale. No, people treat it like it's their job. It's like, geez, man, not everyone's a fucking streamer. I'm a streamer and I don't care about it. You know, I'm just playing it for fun. Jesus. So, we'll see what happens. Traditionally, whenever I start playing a new battle royale, it's really fun the first couple of weeks we play it. Really, it is, you know, because you're exploring the map, you're trying to drop different places, you're finding the best places to loot and get loadouts, you start building your own loadouts for the custom. Remember how you can call in the drop of your own weapons and stuff like that? So you start doing all of that, right? And it gets better and better, but then at one point you kind of hit the wall. You do. You kind of hit the wall. You're like, all right, it's not as good anymore. But I feel like, at least today, is this a piece of hair? It is. At least today, we're going to have fun with it. And at least probably for the next several sessions, hopefully it'll last a couple of weeks, we'll have a good time at Warzone 3.0. But you don't really know. You know, I don't want to necessarily 100% predict that and say, yes, that's going to happen for sure. I just hope for the best. Like, I do hope that we can have some Battle Royale fun. Over the years, games like PUBG, Black Ops 4 Blackout for a whole year almost, original Warzone, Warzone 2.0, and now hopefully Warzone 3.0 will bring us some variety here to the streams and the content. When I'm playing the Battle Royale, it allows us to talk a lot while I'm running around and investigating and trying to figure stuff out, right? So I'm hoping for the best. I am hoping that this stream goes well and that it continues to go well, you know, for at least a couple of weeks till maybe we kind of get bored with it, right? Or people get so serious about it that it's not that fun anymore. But we'll find out. You know, I've done zero research about Warzone 3.0, so I don't actually know what the changes are. I mean, I haven't played Warzone 2.0 since what, like March of last year or this year? So I don't even know what changes happened to Warzone since then. You know, I guess we'll see. But hopefully it's a good time today and we can continue on with some Battle Royale fun over the next, you know, couple of weeks into Christmas, right? So there you go. We'll find out today. Should be a good one, all right? So today's schedule, just so everyone knows, it is Warzone 3.0 on the first stream and more RoboCop Rogue City on the late stream, okay? Tomorrow I'm off from streaming, so I hope you all have a great, fun day. I'll be running around doing a ton of shit tomorrow. I've got so much stuff to do tomorrow, including grocery shopping, appointments, running errands. Like, we need pet supplies and stuff. We need a lot of stuff. And it's like, oh my God, I'm going to be out all day shopping, doing all the stuff I need to do. And then, in fact, holy shit, I got to get a Christmas card. Let me put this down. I need a Christmas card. I got to put this on my list right now because if I don't, I'm going to forget it. Christmas card. Because it's already going to be the 7th. It's like, oh my God, man. This is life. It's just crazy, man. All right. So I got the Christmas card on my freaking shopping list now for tomorrow. Anyway, it's going to be a very crazy, busy, stressful day. But at the same time, I hope it's a fun day because it's the one day a week I get to spend with my wife all day. So hopefully it's not that bad. Although I say that now and I'm like, dude, you know the driving is going to be atrocious tomorrow. It's the holiday season. There's going to be a million people on the road. Like, anyway, so when I come back on Friday, here's the big question. Originally, the plan was that I was going to start playing Avatir. Avatir. That's an interesting one. Avatir. I've invented a new game franchise. Avatir. That sounds interesting, actually. I think I want to make a game called Avatir now. Let's try this again. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. So we got to talk about this today, everyone. Because the reviews are all over the place. Some people rated it as high as a 9, and others rated it like a 5, okay? And the split is basically thus. Everyone agrees it plays like Far Cry. Like, literally every reviewer is like, it's Far Cry. Got it. So, essentially, if you buy Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, you're playing Far Cry 7. Okay? So it even feels like it's the same engine, same gameplay mechanics. You use bow and arrow, although there's some guns. You are traversing areas. You're taking over bases. You are taking over outposts and climbing towers. You're basically doing everything that you would do in a Far Cry game. Okay? Got it. Okay. Very interesting, right? I mean, is it that interesting on paper? No. If you've played a Far Cry game before and you've done all that, you're probably like, meh. But the thing is, I played Far Cry 6, and Far Cry 6 I thought would be the same, and I actually liked Far Cry 6. I thought that it had enough innovation, it had a more interesting location, better characters than Far Cry like 4 and 5. So I actually really liked Far Cry 6. Not everyone did. I remember when I was playing it, people got bored. And by the, last third of the game, I remember that my audience attendance and everything died out, and everyone was like, just finish the game, we don't really care about it, so I did. But I liked Far Cry 6. I thought that it was quite a fun playthrough for what it was. So, to be playing Far Cry 7, but just calling it Avatar, I don't know how it's going to do. Alright, that's number one. Number two, the difference really here, I guess, is, are you a fan of the Avatar movie series? If you are a fan of the Avatar movie series, and you've always wanted a game that's realistically portraying that world of the Na'vi, then the game's probably great. If you don't care about that, then it probably isn't that good. So, the best comparison that I think I can make after skimming through these reviews is, do you remember South Park, The Stick of Truth? Okay? If you're not a fan of South Park, and you play South Park, The Stick of Truth, you probably don't like the game, right? You'd be like, I don't care about these kids, I don't care about these jokes, these references, none of them make sense. You wouldn't understand any of the Easter eggs, right, in the game and all the characters showing up. Every time that new character shows up in that game, you're like, oh, cool, finally they're in a video game and this is excellent. And the fact that it's a turn-based RPG, mishmashed with the world of South Park. If you remember, that was the first time ever there was actually a laid-out map of the town of South Park, and you can get a geographical idea of the layout of the town. Otherwise, you just had to guess from watching the show, right? So it was really cool to see that for the very first time, how they laid it out. But imagine you didn't care about South Park, and you try to play that game, you probably think it's boring as dirt, right? So I feel like that's the same thing here. If you're into Avatar, you probably love the game. If you're not, it probably isn't as interesting. Now, I'll be honest, okay? When I saw Avatar, the first movie, I loved the visuals, and I hated the plot. Because the plot was literally a copy of, like, Pocahontas or Dances with Wolves. It's about, there's a native people, and they have all kinds of resources and unique stuff, and people from the outside who think that they're better than them because they have technology want to take it over. And it's a story of two cultures clashing, and basically this side has to take over the other side, but then someone from in that side betrays them to try to save the natives, and then there's a big fight at the end, and then yada yada. It's the same exact plot. Like, no exaggeration, it's literally exactly the same plot, okay? So I wasn't impressed with the Avatar, the first movie, because I liked the visuals, but that's really what I felt was the only thing that was of worth in the movie. So all style, no substance, right? Like, you could skip the story and just watch the visuals and go, ooh, but the story was terrible, all right? Then there was Avatar 2, which I just saw earlier this year, and I actually reviewed on my React channel, DSP Reacts. I hope you'll give that a look if you haven't yet. And I thought it was just meh. There were parts of the movie that were absolutely outstanding. Like, in this movie, they leave the jungle, and the native people now go to, like, the water, and they're doing, like, interactions with underwater creatures. And once again, the best part of the movie is how they're beautifully interacting with these 3D rendered underwater creatures and learning about the culture of the people who live on the water and stuff like that. That's the best. And then when they actually get to the plot, everyone's an idiot. Everyone's constantly doing dumb things. They get captured, then they get released, then they get captured again, then they rescue, but they only rescue one person instead of both, and another person gets released, but then another one gets captured. It's the dumbest fucking movie ever. You have to be a brain-dead idiot to follow that plot. Seriously, it's just terrible, okay? So again, the Avatar 2, The Way of Water, is kind of a mixed bag. The visuals are great. Some of the parts of the culture is great, but most of the movie is just trash, okay? So, comparing those two movies, and I'm like, so we're going to have a game set in this universe, right? So what would I expect? Probably beautiful visuals, because that's the whole idea of the movies, is that the world is beautiful. You're going to see great environments of these lush flora and, riding these creatures through the sky, maybe in the water. I don't know if it ties into the water movie or not. You know what I'm saying? So all that sounds interesting. But if literally you explore the world and you see all of it within the first couple of hours and you understand how the world works, right, that gimmick's going to wear off. And then what's going to be left is what is the game, and if the game is literally just Far Cry 7, is it going to hold up? That's where reviewers are split right now. Okay, reviewers are split like right down the middle on this, because some reviewers said, oh, the gameplay actually is quite interesting. It's like playing one of the better or best Far Cry games. Yes, it's the similar gameplay loop that you're used to from previous Far Cries, but it's refined, it's slightly better. Because it's set in Pandora, it's way more interesting than just taking over some generic base in a regular Far Cry game. It's basically worth the journey, and it helps for the fact that you are in this world. It makes it better than, say, just some island or jungle or forest where you're just fighting some generic terrorists or whatever it may be. That brings uniqueness, and it ends up being much better, okay? Now, I kid you not, and I don't understand how there could be this divide. Other reviewers are saying completely the opposite. They're saying, no, basically, the best part of this game is the Avatar world. So if you like the movies of Avatar, you might enjoy it. But really, outside of that, the gameplay elements literally are Far Cry again. And because of that, you're going to get bored. But some of them said within 3 hours, you've already seen everything. You've taken over your bases, you're climbing your towers, you're doing all your combat with the bow. You've seen it all. And at that point, already the gimmick is worn off. And so you're going to end up having like a 20-plus hour journey going through this game and not really seeing much innovation, and it just becomes a slog. And they don't like it. And that's what I mean. Like, that's the divide. Some people said 9. I'm a fan of Avatar. First time ever seeing a truly interactive Avatar world, plus some of the best elements of Far Cry ever. 9 out of 10. And then 5, because the only gimmick in the game that's good are the visuals of Pandora. Outside of that, it's boring. It's a slog. They really didn't put a lot of effort into making it a good game. 5 out of 10. And you read those, you're like, now how do I fucking know who to believe? Right? I just don't, I'll be honest, for me, I'm middle of the road. I don't really enjoy that much the plot of the Avatar movies. I think the plot sucks. I think the visuals are nice, and some of the world building they've done with the interaction with these creatures and the beautiful world and stuff that they have on Pandora is nice. But is it worth a whole video game? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it worth playing an entire video game of that? I don't, you know what I mean? Yeah, I guess the other key factor that you should bring into the fact here is, maybe if you're a fan of Avatar, it's great, right? Like, again, I was a big fan of South Park. When I played South Park: The Stick of Truth, I loved it, gave it a high review score. But what if I didn't like South Park? And I'm thinking, imagine that. Imagine if it wasn't South Park: The Stick of Truth, but it was like, geez, what's a good comparison of something that people really like but I'm not into? What if it was, I don't know, My Little Pony RPG or Adventure Time RPG, Steven Universe RPG. There you go. I know nothing about Steven Universe. I've heard Steven Universe is good. A lot of people like it, has a big fan base, but I've never seen a single episode, nor do I really care about it. So imagine if I was playing the Steven Universe RPG. I wouldn't understand any of the references. I wouldn't know any of the characters. I probably wouldn't care. All I would care about is the gameplay elements. And if the gameplay elements are sound, maybe it's good. And South Park's gameplay elements were pretty sound. But admittedly, if I didn't get the jokes, I didn't get the references, I didn't know what was going on with all the characters, I probably wouldn't like the game that much. I probably would have thought it wasn't that good. So now I'm trying to see from that perspective this Avatar game, right? What happens if I get it and we start to play it, and some of us like it more than others because you like Pandora. I think I would like it. At least the first few hours might be like jaw-dropping if it really is a beautiful world. But once that gimmick wears out, and it's just, okay, this is the world, it's more, it's common now, it's not a big deal, it's not jaw-dropping anymore, are Far Cry 7 gameplay elements going to hold up for a full playthrough? You know what I mean? I don't know. I guess the question is, what do you guys think, right, ultimately? Because here's the deal. If I get Avatar, I'm not buying it, I'm getting it on the Ubisoft Plus subscription plan. So if I get it on Ubisoft Plus, it's $18 a month. So for $18, I could get this game. We could play through it. There wouldn't be a major commitment to having to finish it. But at the same time, it would kind of be a shame to have to do that and then end up dropping it. You know what I mean? So I'm honestly not sure. And the thing is, unlike some other games, like I've heard a big clamor from people to play RoboCop, right? Phil, you really missed a good one. You got to play it. So many people wanted me to play RoboCop. 3 people donated it. Okay, and by the way, congrats whoever won those copies yesterday, because I gave out 2 copies of RoboCop yesterday on the premiere stream. Congrats to you. I haven't really heard anyone asking me to play Avatar. I've had people saying, will you play it? Are you interested in it? But no one's saying, hey, play it. You know what I'm saying? So if that's the case, and we end up not playing Avatar, which I'm okay with, I'm not a huge fan of it regardless. I guess the question is, what am I going to play in place, right? And so we look at some options, right? And right now, just for an example, one of the games that you guys have been asking me to play is Lords of the Fallen, right? Okay. It's $70 still. Did you know that? It's fucking full price still. The game's been out for 2 months, and it wasn't even reviewed that well. I'm looking at Lords of the Fallen right now on Xbox Store. It's only rated 3 out of 5 stars by the gamers. That's not a media review score. That's the people who actually bought it. Over 1,300 reviews, it's only rated 3 out of 5 stars. For a $70 game, it's like, I think what happened is, all right, I think Lies of P just destroyed this game. Seriously, I do. I feel like Lies of P made it so that no one really cared about Lords of the Fallen. And those that did played it right away, and that was that, you know? And so for me, when I'm looking at, like, what should I do then, right? What should I play? Man, this is a hard decision for me. It really is. Like, this is a legit hard decision. I don't know. There's options, right? What are some of our options? Well, we could play RoboCop, which we're doing. We could play some of this Battle Royale in Warzone for a couple of weeks or whatever, right? We could balance that with night streams of Street Fighter and Like a Dragon Gaiden. Maybe every once in a while we can squeeze in a multiplayer stream of Modern Warfare 3 just for variety's sake. And then maybe we could do something else like that's been a leftover, right? Like if you think of different leftovers and things, for example, Sea of Stars, people wanted me to play that in the summer, but I was already playing Chrono Trigger, then I finished Chrono Trigger, and there's been no time to do something like that, right? So that's an option. Or maybe I could go back and we could actually continue on with my playthrough of Elden Ring. Now that's going to be a rough one because I kind of got to get back into the game after not having played it for so long. And I need to get back into the magic. Remember, I'm doing a magic build this time, which is a little bit different. It's powerful, but you got to be, you're kind of a weakling. So you got to be ready to hit everyone with these super powerful spells or whatever, right? Now, there's a whole other factor involved here. Okay? And that whole other factor is the Baldur's Gate 3 factor. Okay? And the thing is, you might say, well, Baldur's Gate 3, what are you talking about? Well, ever since Baldur's Gate 3 came out back in the fall, people said, were you going to play it? And I was like, well, there's no time. It's all the new releases of the year out right now. I don't have time for it. Okay? Maybe I would play it in the future. I'm not sure. You got to understand, Baldur's Gate 3 is a game that's going to be insanely long. And here's the problem. We already know we have several high-profile, big new release RPGs coming out in the next several months, right? In January, we got Like a Dragon, Infinite Well. In February, we got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Those are absolutely going to take priority over anything else that I'm doing. So if Baldur's Gate 3 truly is a 40 to 80 hour RPG, there's no way I'm beating it in time for those games, which means I could play it and put it into my schedule and balance it with everything else. But when those games come out, Baldur's Gate 3 is going to literally have to go on hold. Okay? And there's not much I can do about that. You have to understand that. That's just the case of what's going to happen. That's reality. All right? And you'll have to wait. Maybe later in the year we bring it back and we finish it up or whatever. Right? So, I guess we have to see. Right? So, here's the thing. Why am I bringing this up? Because yesterday, live on this show, I opened up the nominations for the Christmas Marathon event. Okay? So, if you're not aware, if you type !Christmas into the chat, the link will pop up right now. Or if you are not live on stream, it's live right now on the community tab. I posted up the thread yesterday. Or if you're a channel member, you're in luck. Channel members get priority. You have your own members-only thread on the members tab of DSP Gaming. Okay, so anyway, right now nominations are open for the Christmas Marathon event. You are nominating games for me to play during that event. And let me tell you, absolutely the number one game nominated right now is Baldur's Gate 3. For sure. That's the one that most people are suggesting. Unlike previous years where people was like, oh, Fallout 3 or Oblivion or Fallout New Vegas or Skyrim. This year, the big one is Baldur's Gate 3. That seems to be the one everyone wants to see me play. Okay? So, if this is a consensus, if this is an agreement, and you guys really think Baldur's Gate 3 would work, then I would consider it. Alright? But, it's a big but. Alright, because I think it's still full price as well. Let me take a look here. I'm almost positive that Baldur's Gate 3 is also still $70. Yep. $69.99. And I have a hard time dropping $70 on a game that may not pan out to be a full playthrough. You know, this very well could be something that I buy and we play it a few times and I don't like it. If it ends up being another Pillars of Eternity, I'll tell you, not Pillars of Eternity, I'm sorry, a Divinity Original Sin 2, this is going to be a pretty disappointing outing for me. I'm going to be honest. You know, you guys hyped the living shit out of Divinity 2 for me. You're, oh, well, when you finally get to it, you're going to love it. I played it, and I'll be honest with you guys. I thought it was all right. I wasn't in love with it like you were. I thought it was just okay. You know, so the characters had interesting stories and stuff. The gameplay was the problem. That combat is too fucking tedious. It's so slow-paced and strategic, I just didn't get into it. I don't like a fight that takes 40 minutes. And that was frequent during that playthrough. Every time you fight, it's a 40-minute fucking fight. It's like, dude, how is this fun? It's actually quite disappointing in my opinion. I just didn't like it that much. And I played 60, I really tried. I played 60 hours of Divinity 2. And I took all of your advice and I tried to do everything I possibly could. And after 60 hours, everyone agreed it was boring. Including me. We're like, dude, this playthrough just doesn't work for my format. It doesn't. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, personally, from my perspective, what to do here. Alright? Instead of doing anything major, we could do filler. Maybe we could toss in Sea of Stars. We could do a few indie games. Or we could just ride it out with RoboCop, Warzone, some Modern Warfare 3 standard multiplayer, Street Fighter 6, and Like a Dragon Gaiden until Christmas. And then maybe after Christmas, we make a couple decisions. Okay? We can figure that out. Or we could start something significant. We could start Lords of the Fallen. We could start Baldur's Gate 3. But I'm not sold on any of these. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't know out of any of these what works and what doesn't. And the problem is all the games you guys are recommending are $70 games. It's not like, oh, this game went on sale for $30, so it's not a big deal. This is a big investment. It is. It's a lot of money to put into a game that might be dropped. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I really don't know what to do. Now, it's funny because some people are like, oh, well, Baldur's Gate 3 has a game trial, 2-hour trial. Well, first of all, a 2-hour trial is not even enough probably to start the game. It's an RPG. How are you supposed to judge an RPG on a 2-hour trial? Number two, to get the 2-hour trial, you have to get PlayStation Plus Premium, which is like $20 a month. So you're paying $20 to play the game for 2 hours. How does that make fucking sense? That's a ripoff is what that is, right? You'll probably just get out of the character creator, start to play the game, and the time fucking runs out. So forget that shit. That's a waste of time. Andy says you can find Baldur's Gate 3 cheaper if you look online. How? I'm playing it on PlayStation. How can I find it cheaper? I have to buy it and digitally play it on PlayStation. How could I find it cheaper? I don't know what you mean. I'm not playing it on PC. It's going to be on PS5. Everyone says the PS5 version's gorgeous. If you're going to play it and you have console, play it on PS5. I could play it on my mini PC. I'd have to nerf the graphics. Why would I do that? Play it on PS5, play it on Max, right? Physical copy. All right. All right. I'm going to entertain this. And if I can't find a physical copy for cheaper, someone's getting slapped. Let's find out. You ready? Ready? What the fuck? I put in Baldur's Gate 3 PS5, the top match, Armored Core 6. Baldur's Gate 3 isn't even on Amazon at all. I'm searching right now. It's not even listed on Amazon. You can't even get it. Nope. It lists every other game and not Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah. So you can't even buy, all you can buy is merch. That's it. Merchandise. So, can't get it off of Amazon. Alright. Let's go to, what, Google? Let's see here. Wow, on eBay they're selling it for $79. That's interesting. They're actually selling it for more than the digital price. Like, what the fuck is that? You're an idiot. Right? No. There's nothing reliable that I can see. There's absolutely nothing reliable that I can see. Like, I can see a few places that are considered indie sellers. Those will never be here even by Christmas. That shit will never be here. You know, the only way you can get something fast is to buy it from a big box retailer, like Walmart, Target, you know, those places, or Amazon. You'll get it within a few days. All these other indie places, oh, you can get it cheaper. Yeah, you'll probably get it for $10 cheaper from some third-party website, and it takes fucking 3 weeks to ship. And they charge you for the shipping. So, no, it's, you know, people always are trying to, they act like there's these crazy deals online. It doesn't exist. You know what you're talking about. Honestly, I hate to say it. Yeah. Yeah, it's not reliable. I'm looking at it right now. No. Nope. Nope. It's $70. Okay? It's $70. So, absolutely, in my opinion, not worth it. Okay? Oh, really? Ellipsian says there's rumors it might get a Game Pass release announced tomorrow at the Game Awards. You think so? Well, I wouldn't buy it today regardless, because we have a few days to figure this out. Here's what we really need to figure out right now. Okay? Am I going to play Avatar on Friday or not? I'll do a poll right now in chat and let's see what people have to say. Okay? Let's do a live poll. So let's see how people vote. This is not a vote of Avatar versus Baldur's Gate 3. This is not a vote of Avatar versus Lords of the Fallen. This is just an outright vote. Should I play Avatar? That's what this vote is, okay? I want to see your initial feedback, and no, this vote will not 100% determine my decision, but I'd like feedback about this, okay? Derek, I'm not sure. I did not see many or any nominations for the Grinch game yet. Like I said, 100%. I know the biggest nominated game for the Christmas event is Baldur's Gate 3. That's the one that most people have nominated. Okay. So I want to see what happens with this poll with Avatar here. See what you guys have to say. But that's decision number one, because I feel like if it's not some overwhelming desire to see me play Avatar, then we should skip it. All right, and what we'll do, here's what I'm thinking. So today we're already doing Warzone and we're doing RoboCop. On my day off today, tomorrow, or excuse me, Friday, we could do RoboCop again as the daytime stream, and we'll do Street Fighter. Saturday, we'll do more Warzone, and we'll do Like a Dragon Gaiden. Sunday's React Day, so I'll do my React show, and then Sunday night I'll do my private patron videos, which, by the way, yes, if you can believe it, I have to do more private patron videos this weekend because half the videos I filmed on last Sunday corrupted, and I do have a new video now to do. So I will not be doing a stream on Sunday night. I need to do those private patron videos, but fingers crossed, then we'll be done with them, and I'll be able to stream Sunday nights moving forward. Okay? Cool. Then, Monday, all right, I guess we'll see, but maybe it could be more RoboCop, right, and more Street Fighter, and then Tuesday, maybe more Warzone, or if we get bored of Warzone, we could always go back to standard multiplayer in Modern Warfare 3 for variety, but I would only do that if there was desire for it, because I was playing it and people got bored with it this week. We had low engagement, low support, and people weren't even paying attention to the game. So that's why I stopped putting that into the daytime rotation, but I'd be okay for variety purposes throwing it back in there, you see? So if I don't play Avatar this week, it's okay. Like, we have stuff to play while we make this important decision, okay? And I think it is an important decision, quite frankly, because I'm not sure what should be the next major playthrough I do, but it seems like most people are voting for Baldur's Gate 3 for Christmas, okay? So, there you go. And the thing is, by the way, if it is announced that Baldur's Gate 3 is on Game Pass, dude, I'm playing it for sure, 100%. I mean, it's the game everyone's asking me to play, and it's a game that's a Game of the Year contender for tons of people. Why would I not try it? It's on Game Pass. There's zero commitment. My problem right now is a $70 commitment for a game that might end up just like Divinity 2. You know, a game where I played it, I gave it so much time to work as a playthrough, and it just doesn't work. The gameplay is just not engaging for me, nor is it entertaining to watch for the audience. Everyone was fucking bored with that game, which I knew would happen. I absolutely knew it, right? Zen Shuriken says, I don't see why they would give so much money away. Game Pass is for flops. I mean, it's a good point. If it ends up winning Game of the Year at the Game Awards, which it might, like now that I've seen the playing field kind of get narrowed a bit, I do think it might win. I'm actually feeling pretty strongly that it might win. Although, never underestimate the power of the gaming media, who still might vote for fucking Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which doesn't even deserve to be in contention for Game of the Year. It could still win. That's what I'm actually worried about. I'm actually okay with any of those games winning Game of the Year except Zelda. So as long as Zelda doesn't win, I'm okay with whatever gets picked. But man, I'm nervous they're going to fucking pick Zelda. I really am. It should not even be on that list. Right? It's fucking bullshit. Oh my goodness. Yeah, see? I know. That's what I know. Baldur's Gate 3, I'm getting an estimate of its length. Baldur's Gate 3 average playthrough is around 50 to 60 hours. If you are a completionist who does all side content, it could be over 100 hours. I know. That's the point I'm making. How do you think I'm going to play that along with everything else I'm playing during the holidays, my year-end series, and then I'm supposed to keep playing it? What happens when all the other RPGs hit, right? That's my concern. That's my real concern here, okay? Well, I'll tell you right now, with the way the poll is going, there is no clear desire to see Avatar. 262 votes in, and it's around even. So, if there's no clear desire to see Avatar, I think it's a skip. I think we should probably skip it. We'll have to think about this. All right? I mean, well, let's keep talking about it, but it sounds to me like it's a skip. It sounds like, well, first of all, you guys like RoboCop, right? You guys liked it yesterday. I hope you'll tune into my late stream tonight. I guess the big X factor right now is Warzone. Is it Warzone going to be good or not? If Warzone's good, then that's great, and that'll give us content for the week or two until we figure this out. But if Warzone ends up sucking and not being that good, I guess that's the determining factor here, right? Fed Rogers says, regarding Avatar, a bad game can still be enjoyable to watch. Correct, but a boring game is always boring. You see the difference? A good game could be enjoyable, a bad game could be enjoyable, but a boring game that just follows the formula of every other Far Cry game probably is the worst case scenario, if it really is boring, right? And it seems like that's the problem. A lot of people are saying in the reviews, it literally is the Far Cry formula again, and it's boring because of that. You see? So there you go. You can't vote on mobile? I don't even know about that. Is that true? If you guys are on a mobile device, you cannot participate in chat polls? Is that true? That kind of sucks. That does kind of suck. I wish you guys could, because right now we have over 400 viewers on the show, but we only got 298 votes. That really sucks. Like 100 you guys can't even vote because it's on mobile. That's really dumb. No, Fed Roger says we can. DCJ says no, we can. Oh, okay, never mind. So someone else couldn't. Someone says they couldn't, but apparently other people can. I don't know. Well, thank you everyone for voting. All right, literally the poll is just split right down the middle. So, excuse me. I'm thinking based upon your feedback, our discussion, and the landscapers outside that are going to get ever louder as they approach the house, I think that we should skip Avatar. What do you guys think? That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, let's do what we said. So let me recap the schedule. Let me close the window, then allow me to recap the schedule for the next week, okay? Okay. All right, so if this is the case and we're skipping Avatar, here's what I'm thinking then. Today, Warzone 3.0 premiere and then RoboCop. I'm off tomorrow. Friday, we'll have RoboCop as the day stream, and of course, Friday Night Fight Street Fighter 6 Dalsim. Sunday, we'll do some more Warzone. We'll pair that with Like a Dragon Gaiden. Or, excuse me, Saturday, we'll have Warzone and Like a Dragon Gaiden. Sunday, React Day, so DSP versus the Internet, and then no stream that night because I'll be filming the private React videos. Perhaps I'll review a new holiday special on Sunday night if I have time. We'll see. It depends on how long those videos will take to make. And then same thing, Monday, more RoboCop, more Street Fighter. Tuesday, either more Warzone or maybe Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer and Like a Dragon Gaiden. You see, that's what it'll be for the week. Okay? I think that makes sense. And then what we'll do during this time frame, we will discuss what we're going to do with Baldur's Gate 3. Okay? If Baldur's Gate 3 wins Game of the Year, I think everyone's going to yell at me to play it, right? I think so too. I think that if it wins Game of the Year, I'm going to end up getting an overwhelming number of people being like, you got to at least play this game before you try to do your Game of the Year awards because you know, at least you got to give it an honorable mention. So, we'll see. Let's find out, okay? But that's what I'm feeling. Yeah. At this point, after talking with you guys, seeing these reviews and everything, I think that Avatar is going to end up being a skip. I'm sorry, but I really feel that way. Now, and you're right, Orange says, either way, Baldur's Gate 3 is going to win because what about that Christmas poll? You're right. Because the Christmas poll, so many people want to see Baldur's Gate 3, likely I'm going to end up having to get it anyway. If anyone has a recommendation of how to get it cheaper than $70, or if anyone wanted to contribute to help get it, that would be cool too. You know, if you could donate it or something, that's up to you. I'm just saying, if anyone wanted to help, you really wanted to see Baldur's Gate 3, because really, I'll be honest, the $70 price tag, after the game's been out for so many months, the $70 price tag is what's holding me back from just saying, yeah, let's just do it. That's pricey for a game to be out so long and still be full price. So, but we'll see what happens. And like I said, I'm not in a rush to start it this week anyway. No, it's not on Xbox. It's only PS5. It's PC and PS5 only. So, okay. All right. So there you go. That's the plan. Sound good? I'm glad, again, this is why I'm happy we have these discussions. I am. This is exactly why I'm so happy that I have these podcasts. If I did not have these podcasts, we would not have this interactive discussion. I wouldn't be able to figure out what's best. I'd just be guessing, you know? I wouldn't know what to do. I'm so happy that we have this every day. So every person that comes out and says, oh, those podcasts are too long and they don't serve a purpose, they don't get it. They think that I'm the same as every other streamer, that I just make these big swooping decisions without consulting the audience, that I just, you know, have money to throw around and dispose of. I could buy any game I want and just dump it whenever I want. No, I'm very different than that. I'm like you guys. You know, I got to be very discerning with the game choices that I make, especially because I have a limited schedule of streaming and, you know, 6 days a week full time I'm here, and it's not even enough time to play the stuff you guys want to see me play. So we got to figure all this out together. I'm very happy to have your feedback, and I appreciate you all coming and hanging out and discussing this with me so we can figure it out and do what's best. You know, right now, I do agree Avatar should be a skip, and I think we're strongly considering Baldur's Gate 3, and I'm okay with that, all right? Even if it means that maybe we end up playing it or whatever, and we drop it or we have to put it on hiatus, I still think, you know, if this is what everyone wants, you know, if this is what everyone wants, and people want me to at least play a bit before I do my year-end series, then I guess that makes sense, okay? So, by the way, Shia had said, too bad you're not playing it on PC because I have a Steam code. Yeah, I doubt. I mean, let's be honest here. I really doubt my mini PC is going to run Baldur's Gate 3 that well, right? That mini PC is meant for mid to low range stuff. Like you saw, I was able to boot the horror game. What's it called? The one that I played a couple years ago? I can't remember what it's called. Oh, Visage. I was able to boot it, but it's at mid to low settings, right? So it looks okay. It doesn't look great. Can you imagine trying to play that on a mini PC, a new game like that? It's probably going to run like shit, right? So that's what they said. It's optimized on PS5. It makes sense to play it on PS5. So again, if anyone wants to help out, if someone was considering, you know, you wanted to help with the cost or donate, I'd be open to that. And like I said, if it was donated, I would have zero problems starting to play it and try it out. Zero. It really is that crazy $70 price tag all these months later that's kind of holding me back. So let me know if you're interested. And outside of that, you heard the schedule for the rest of the week, right? We're going to have balances between RoboCop, Warzone, Street Fighter, Like a Dragon Gaiden, and you know, maybe some other stuff. We'll see. Okay? Orange says running and streaming the game would be a mess. I would not be streaming it from that PC. That PC is hooked up to my setup. That's where that streams. It would be just running the game. But even then, like I said, Visage. Visage is a game that looks really good. I played it on PS5. It looked super good. But playing it on that mini PC, it only would boot on like mid settings and it didn't look that good. It ran and it was all right, but it certainly wasn't anywhere near as visually appealing as PS5. So there you go. Okay. All right, so that's the determination. I think let's get into some shout-outs here for the day, and then we'll see where the stream takes us. So Adam was actually our first super chatter of the day. He did a $2 super chat. He says they're selling the physical only on the dev website. Yeah, but it's like I said, unless you're going to a big box place like Amazon, Walmart, Target, Best Buy, those are the places that if you order right now, they'll ship and you'll get it within a few days. But that's it. So especially because it's the holiday season. If you order from any of these third-party websites, the developer's direct site, some reseller, you're not going to get it for weeks. They're going to say, oh, yeah, slow boat shipping. By the way, pay for the shipping, right? Which adds to the cost of the game on top of that. Just for what? To save $10? So it's not worth it. You know what I mean? It's not really that big of a deal. I wish, but, you know, where they really get you is the digital version being $70, right? Like, that's pretty silly. This game's been out since what? August? Right? And anyone, let's be honest, anyone who was really going to go crazy and run and buy it already did. So the initial sales wave is over. If they were smart, they would go on sale for Christmas. Like, they should actually drop the price right now by like $20-30. And then with these game awards that are about to be tomorrow, if this game gets a lot of awards or wins Game of the Year, you'll increase your sales exponentially with a sale, right? But I don't think it's going to happen, honestly. You know, the digital version is always a ripoff, too. It sucks. They always charge more for some reason, but okay. Anyway, so thank you, Adam. Looks like our first tip of the day. A $12 tip from Dan the Man. Thank you to Dan the Man for a $12 tip. I appreciate that this morning. It's good to see you. Thank you for barbecuing my head. When people ask me, Phil, what's wrong with your hairline? I say, did you see the animation? Did you see what happened to my head? That's what happened. There you go. It never grew back. Okay. Okay. Let me... Loud ass landscapers. Well, I had to close the window. I don't know. Can you still hear them? Because I closed the window. Okay. Oh, really? They just dropped a new patch that adds new epilogues to the game. Is that true? I don't know how you can hear it loud because I can't hear it loud. I hear it very low in the background, so I think you guys are full of baloney. Okay. All right, so that's that for now. I've shouted out everything for now. That's really all I've got. So if you guys want to ask me some questions, please tag me in the chat, and we'll talk a little bit, do a little bit of Q&A. If any other contributions come in, I'll shout them out, and we'll go from there. Let's see what you guys have on your mind for today. No, the window is not cracked. Everything is closed. You are full of baloney. I don't believe you. Why not play Gollum? Because I'm not a sadomasochist. I don't like torturing myself or, like, I don't like ritualistically flagellating my back. It doesn't give me pleasure. So unless, I mean, I don't walk on glass. I don't sleep on nails. I don't sit on cactuses. And I don't play Gollum. It all goes hand in hand, you see? Well, thank you, Derek. He says he loves my National Lampoon's Christmas review. I'm glad you brought that up. Last night, I did my first holiday review of the season, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, over on my React channel, DSP Reacts. That's youtube.com/@DSP Reacts, if you don't know where it is. I really liked reviewing it. It's only about a 10-minute review. You know, I don't go crazy into detail about the movie. But in general, it's one of my favorite holiday movies of all time. And I really enjoyed putting it out, so I hope you'll give it a look. That channel doesn't get a lot of views. I'm not expecting to get thousands of people to watch the video. I'm not. If I get a few hundred, I'll be happy. And what I'll try to do is maybe the next one will be over the weekend. Like I said, maybe Sunday night. Maybe I could put out 2 this next week. Maybe I'll do one like Sunday night and maybe one like Tuesday night if I can. That'd be great if I could put out like 2 in the next week. But we'll see. We'll see about timing and everything. Will I be watching the Game Awards with Kat live tomorrow? I have no idea because we have such a busy day. I don't know what time we're going to get home. Likely we will at some point at least skim it together to see who won what. Like, she's really excited to see Poets of the Fall play the song. They're going to do the Old Gods of Asgard song from Alan Wake 2. They're going to do a live performance. She's very interested for that because she loves the music of the game. You know, obviously, I want to know who won the big award so I could talk about it on my podcast on Friday. So we're going to do our best to watch as much as we can, but there's no guarantee we can watch the whole thing because we don't know how late we're going to be out. You know, it depends on when we get home. Ambulatory says, Christmas Vacation is my most watched Christmas movie. Weird how critics scored it low. I've never seen a critic review of it. I don't care. I saw it in the theaters. I loved it. So I don't give a shit what everyone else says. It's one of the best, most funny holiday movies of all time, and anyone else who disagrees can shove a cactus up their ass. There you go. Yeah, I wonder what I will review. I'm not sure what I want to review for the rest of the Christmas stuff. I've been thinking about it. And there's a lot of movies available on, like, Max and stuff like that. A good variety. plus a few on Amazon Prime Video. So it's depending on like what's available, plus what I want to watch. I don't know if I want to do all movies. Maybe I want to do a few of the Rankin Bass Christmas specials if they're on there. I've seen a few of those, so I'm thinking about it. There's a rumor Arcane will announce either Deathloop 2 or Dishonored 3. Is there a rumor that Arcane will finish their games before they release them? Because Redfall was pretty fucking bad. So, you gotta hope that maybe they'll actually finish the development of the game before it's put out for purchase and sale. Do I have a favorite anime from the 90s? I didn't watch anime in the 90s. Besides maybe Dragon Ball Z, that was about it. So. And that was on American TV. A different Arcane studio did Redfall. Oh, well then is there a rumor that the different Arcane studio will stop making games and get into, I don't know, car washes or something? So we never have to go do that again? That'd be great. I'm doing good, Jade. I'm excited for today, Jade. Here's why. Number one, I'm very curious if Warzone 3.0 will be good. I liked Warzone 1 and 2 at first, and then both of them over time weren't as good. But I think it's been a while since I played Battle Royale, so it's going to be good variety today. And then I'm actually very excited for tonight's RoboCop stream because RoboCop's really good right now. I'm loving the game, and I can't wait for more. So there you go. I received a $20 tip from 1 Minute Man. He says, Avatar is a good-looking game, but you've already been there, done that. I think you've hit it on the head. It's gonna look good. So like 2 hours, everyone will go, ooh, pretty. And then once you start playing it, like, it's literally fucking Far Cry again. And that's exactly what the reviews say. So I think it's a smart move to skip it. So thank you, 1 Minute Man, for the $20 tip. And also thank you for your input. I appreciate that. Biggest contribution of the day so far. By the way, if you guys have not noticed, I didn't talk about this. Yesterday was a very good day for members, because a lot of people were feeling festive and gifted memberships to the channel. So if you happen to be on stream this morning, you're like, whoa, wait a minute, I have a membership. Or maybe you're watching this on demand and you're like, wait a minute, I'm a member already today? Yeah, that's what happened. I think yesterday we had around 60 or 70 memberships gifted. So now we're over 600, which is absolutely amazing. I'm very happy to be back over 600 for the first time in months. Would be great to keep that momentum going. Like, as you can see, since we're doing 2 new things today, I set a goal for 15 more members. It'd be great if we could hit 620 by the end of today. Whether you become a new member yourself, whether you give some memberships to the channel, either or is greatly appreciated. And I know people will really enjoy having a membership right now because they get the ability to nominate a game for the Christmas Marathon, and that's a special members-only privilege right now, where members will pick one of those games. Yeah, pretty awesome, right? So please consider that. Maybe we can hit 620 today. That'd be amazing, okay? And, of course, as usual, my goal is every major stream to try to get the $50 tips goal. So if we can hit that by the end of the stream, we're already at 32, so we already got a great head start. That would help as well. Excuse me. Bjorn asked, well, I played the day before. Isn't that game stuck in development hell? Wasn't it supposed to already come out like twice, and they'd keep delaying it without any notice? And so I don't know anything about that, really. Do I still have a donated Final Fantasy game I never played yet? Yeah. Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core on the Switch. I have no idea why I'm sitting like this, by the way. Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion on the Switch. It was donated last year randomly. I didn't ask for it. Someone just mailed it to me. Okay. But no one ever wanted it. I showed you last year when it showed up. I told you about it. No one wanted it. Everyone just said, skip it. No big deal. So I never played it. So now it just sits in my closet. Why does my head feel so hollow? Oh, I wonder what happened. Anyway. Okay. Yeah, maybe one day. What announcement would I like to see at the Video Game Awards? Excuse me. Hold on. Okay. Alright, I'm just gonna get rid of this idiot. Okay, let's see here. What was I gonna say? I'm so confused. Now I lost my train of thought. Oh, what would I like to see return or be announced at the Game Awards? A few things I would like to see in gaming. Number one, I'd like to see a BioShock game. A real one. That brings back that spirit of the kind of very adventure-esque first-person shooter. I don't think we've had one in ages. At one point, there was a lot of them, and they kind of just disappeared. How many adventure-style, not RPG, but more adventure-style FPS games? I would love to see more of those, and I don't think that we get enough of them. That's number one. Like, there's very few and far in between. At one point, there was tons, and now there's none. Number two, I would like to see Capcom actually make more fighting games than just Street Fighter 6, because they used to be great at that, and then they stopped, and now only having one major fighter, it hinges a lot on one game, which is fine, but I liked when they had more diversity in their fighting game lineup. And it sucks that they don't have diversity at all. It's always just Street Fighter. That's it. So I'd like to see them branch out and do more than just Street Fighter. Maybe bring back the Versus series in another capacity or a different spin-off series. I would love that. But I don't think that'll ever happen, but I would love for that. Let's see. Fallout 3 Remaster. I want that coming out next year, because I would love to play Fallout 3 again with the remastered edition with much better graphics and things. I don't want to play original Fallout 3 and then they announce the remaster. That's going to piss me off. So I want to see that. Let's see. And due to the ridiculously low security measures, I would like to see Jeff Keighley get completely pantsed on stage in front of the world, in front of the millions of watchers. Just zoop! And he's completely embarrassed because... I mean, you might as well have had that happen last year with the kid who ran on stage, right? So there you go. All right. Anyway, no. Obviously, I don't want him to get pantsed on stage. That's just a joke. I hope that they beefed up the security this year, because last year was ridiculous that happened. Okay? Okay. All right. What else do you guys want to talk about? What happened last year? That kid ran on stage remember, they were getting presented with an award, and some fucking teenager just runs on stage, and he's like, what the fuck is this kid doing up here? And he got the mic, and he started talking. They're like, what the fuck? Like, what is he even doing there? Why was he even at the awards? It made no sense. How did he even get in? He just fucking walked in. Right? Idiots. How do you guys not remember this? You don't remember this? Yeah, he talked about Bill Clinton or something. Something stupid. It's a complete dunce. Here's your time to shine. You're in front of millions of viewers. What are you going to say? Bill Clinton, blah, 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 blah. Wow. Really insightful, you fucking moron. You could have said anything. Bill Clinton. That's what he had to talk about. Bill Clinton. Very, very topical humor. Right? Very, very timely. Okay. All right. Guys, what else do you want to talk about? Please tag me in the chat. And if anything comes in as a contribution, I'll shout it out. Okay? But let's see what you guys want to chat about. Yeah, I know. I keep hearing more and more buzz about Godzilla -1. Many of you have seen it, and you tell me it's amazing. I'm seeing reviews pop up all over the internet. People are saying it's amazing. You know, I don't have access to it. I don't know if it's going to be on, like, for example, the American Godzilla movies are on Max. But that's because they're the same company. But I don't think that Japanese is Toho, and I don't think that's on Max. So I don't know if I would have access to it at some point or not. Right? I don't know. Nope, I've never played Zone of the Enders before. Nope. Oh yeah, that's true. Wasn't there a different? Was it the same guy, or a different person at Gamescom opening night live that he also ran? Someone ran on stage talked about GTA 6 or something, right? Something equally stupid. Yeah, Street Fighter 6 is getting different collaborations I've seen, but usually what that just means is that there's in-game content for your avatar and shit. It doesn't really mean much in regards to the game. It's not like the game is getting any kind of special content or modes or anything as a result. So, RAC just became a member. Thank you to RAC for becoming a member today. I believe that is actually counting as a new membership. So I'm going to count that towards the total. It looks like it is. So thank you for that, RAC. Derek, what do you mean? He says, do you know how much movies were back in the 80s and 90s? What do you mean? Do you mean like a movie ticket? Do you mean like buying a movie? I don't know what you mean. Joe Aloft would like to see the next Metro game announced at the Game Awards. Movie ticket? If I remember correctly, like a standard movie ticket back in the day was between $8 to $10, but you would always try to get to the matinee, because the matinee would be like $5 or $6. And the difference is that the matinee is like an early afternoon showing where they don't typically have a lot of people in the theater, so it's a discount. And then if you try to go prime time, that's when it's like the full price. But yeah, there was a time when movies were under like $15 to $20. That's what they all are today, right? Like it was way less than that. But they always got you with the snacks. A soda, I can't even remember a time when like a decent sized soda at a movie theater was less than like $5. Seriously. They always charge like $5 for a cup of soda. And the candy is ridiculous, right? Like candy, how much is candy today? Back then, it was at like $4 or $5 probably. So I wonder what it costs today. But that's like, you know, it was always insane scalping at the counter there. So my day is going well, RAC. Thank you for saying that. You paid $8 for a small drink at the movies? Christ. Just think about that. $8 for one cup of soda. You could go to the grocery store and buy 8 2-liters of soda and go home like this. You can't even carry the amount of soda you have in your arms. It weighs so much for the same price. But they do it, man. They get away with it. Indeed, they do. Sneaking in. I would never sneak in a drink, but when I was a kid, my mom and I, when we would go to the movies together, we would sneak in candy. I would always sneak in like a box of Milk Duds or a box of Junior Mints or something like that. Before we went to the movies, we would always go to like a drugstore, and the drugstores had big boxes of these candy out front for like $2. So you'd buy the big ass box and we would share it while we watched the movie together. We would put it in her purse and sneak it in. Contraband. There you go. How's the weather? Cold and rainy. It was actually in the 40s one week, so we had a lot of ice, and now it warmed up this week into the 50s. So it is cold and rainy, but that is exactly the kind of weather we're supposed to have this time of year. So it's expected to have cold and rain every day throughout the late fall and winter. So typical Pacific Northeast American weather, and which is good. It actually makes it nice and cool in this office. I haven't had any issues with heat or anything in weeks, and that's a great thing. You had lots of snow Sunday, oh yeah? We're not even close to having weather cold enough to have the snow. Thank God, because we've had nonstop rain. Can you imagine if it was freezing? We'd have like feet and feet of snow, but that's the thing. We get lots of rain, but it never really amounts to much snow. I don't know where that yawn came from. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Can't be yawning when I'm playing Warzone, bro. All right, I'll see you tonight, Derek. If I theoretically could have a winter home, where would I like to escape to during the cold months? Man, that's a good question. I have no idea. I'd have to think about that. Is it nice to be out somewhere out in the middle of nowhere in a cabin? If you have enough resources to stay warm and have good food, would it be nice to be out with nature? Or would you prefer to be at like a resort? Would you want to go to a city? I don't know. That's an interesting question. I would have to think about. I've literally never put any thought into that before. So, Meatball Man says you got a new job with a big raise. Congrats for you. Enjoy. This is a good time of the year to get that, right? My house is built to insulate heat and block rain. Yes, my home, because it's a Pacific Northwest home, it's meant to trap heat, and rain doesn't affect it at all. Rain's, just rolls right off. But yeah, it's meant to trap heat, for sure. And we have no problems with flooding or anything like that. I actually live at the top of a hill, a giant hill, so we have zero issues with flooding or anything like that. But the problem is the summer, it's too hot. This time of year, it's perfect. Nope, never been into MMA. Shout out to the Friendly Gremlin. The Friendly Gremlin just became a channel member. Thank you for the membership, Friendly Gremlin. I appreciate that. Oh yeah, Supermassive is making a single-player Dead by Daylight game. It's supposed to be a horror-themed, like, choose-your-own-adventure game, right? That could be interesting. Do I have interest in a Steam Deck? I don't need one. I have a mini PC. And the mini PC is the same strength, if not more powerful than a Steam Deck. So I don't need a Steam Deck anymore. I have the capabilities to do that kind of stuff. When we get to it, when we determine what it is that we want to do. I'm thinking, at one point, people are going to want to see me play other fighting games. Not just retro, or not just Street Fighter 6. Maybe you want to see me do some of the old stuff I used to do. And getting Fightcade on that mini PC is going to be fun, I feel. But we got to get to that point, and people don't seem to have that demand yet. I think we'll get to it eventually. Jade says hello to Jasper and the Pooch. You mean Cookie? Cookie the Crispus Pooch? I'm sure Jasper will appreciate you said that. Erebus UK says, what do you think about the Dragunov trailer? I didn't see it. I know that it released today. I saw it on social media, but I did not click on it. King B. Cruel says, lock into Call of Duty, avoid the queue, it's really bad. Yeah, but I have to use the bathroom before we play, so what are you going to do? There might not be a queue. You're thinking there's a queue. How much you want to bet the queue's for teams? I'm playing solos. Solos probably will not have a queue. I almost guarantee you solos will not have a queue. Only the teams. Are any MKs good competitive fighters? I mean, the problem was, when MK first came out in arcades, they weren't focused on competitive play. Like, Mortal Kombat 2 is competitive, but completely imbalanced. There's two characters in Mortal Kombat 2 for tournament play. Melina and Jax. That's literally it. No one else can beat them. Mortal Kombat 3 was better. Still unbalanced, but better. 4 plus all the way through the 2000s suck ass. And then 9, 10, and 11 were much better. Probably 10 being the best competitive because it had 3 versions of each character, so there was a lot of variety in the gameplay. But I was never competitive at Mortal Kombat. So it's like you're asking someone who has a cursory knowledge to judge. I can't. I'm not a pro at Mortal Kombat where I can make those judgments. You understand? Anything else, guys? You guys are quiet. I hear crickets. What is going on? It's supposed to be an interactive stream. I'm about to play Battle Royale. Are we going to have crickets when I'm playing? We'll actually be running through an open world of just crickets cricketing around me. Everyone's quiet as shit. What happened? We have 490 people on the stream and no one speaking in the chat. I find that hard to believe. Did you guys all break your keyboards at once, collectively? What is going on with you? I've had enough. This is ridiculous. I'm not streaming for myself. Trust me. A stream of myself, me talking to this wall, I could do that, but I don't have to broadcast it. I can just turn off the stream and talk to this wall and see what it says. Maybe it'll say something. Maybe this candy cane right here is very exciting. If I actually ask it how its day is, I don't know. Anyway, you guys ready? All right. So here's what we'll do. I guess we'll end the show then, and we'll get ready for Warzone. Considering the fact that with Warzone, I need to be at the ready at all times, I think I'll probably take a little potty break before we get started. And then we'll jump into it. And 3+ hours of Battle Royale. We'll see how it goes. I don't even know. Is there gulag in this? I don't even know. I've literally paid zero attention to Warzone. So I have no idea what they've changed since Warzone 2. So I guess we'll find out. All right. Everyone, thank you so very much. Enjoyable podcast. We determined not to play Avatar. You know what the schedule is for next week. We'll see how it goes. We'll judge. Maybe Baldur's Gate 3 is in the cards. That'd be interesting. I thank you all for watching and giving me your feedback. Is very much appreciated, and I hope you have a very happy season of the holidays here. I remember I'm not here tomorrow. No podcast tomorrow. All right, so I will see you all Friday to tell you how Warzone went, to talk probably about the Game Awards and the like. Be safe, and I will see you all soon.